Hello guys, this is Tapa Muwaima. Welcome to another episode of Chats About the Economy, where we discuss issues affecting the economy globally and nationally. On the first episode, we were talking about unemployment in Botswana, where we're just discussing challenges that the youth are facing in terms of unemployment. Then we discussed global economy, where we are talking about the tariffs that the US government has imposed against African countries. Today, we are going back to solving that problem of unemployment, where we'll be talking about entrepreneurship. I'm not alone. Sophie Kiraisa is back with the bang. My co-host, Sophie.
Hello guys, Jumlani, hola, my name is Sophie Kiraisa, as he said, and welcome back to the third episode of CATE podcast. But we are not alone, we have our guest here. He's going to talk about entrepreneurship. So you're welcome, so you can introduce yourself.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Witness. I am a business consultant. I'm an accountant. I am a former auditor. I have been in the audit industry for about 3 years. I am the study of the U.S. Institute alumni and ambassador. Also, I am a volunteer. I'm serving as a volunteer at the Independent Continental Youth Advisory Council. Also, I am an author. I have a book titled Coming in Different, which talks about the essence of being different and doing things differently from the way our forefathers used to do things back then. So, yeah.
Okay, that's great. So, as an entrepreneur, how can you describe entrepreneurship in your own perspective?
Oh, yeah. Well, I believe entrepreneurship is an individual thing. Mm-hmm. Entrepreneurship is something that can be defined by an individual. It's something that lies with passion. It's something that lies with someone's passion. So, business has their own definition of entrepreneurship or of what entrepreneurship is, mm-hmm. right? So it's something that like I said, lies with passion. It's just when an individual tries their best to monetize their passion. So I think I'll just say that because that aligns with the reasons as to why I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Right? Yes.
So with you, the main part about it, it's passion. It's the one that drives you.
Yes. Because entrepreneurship is not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to do because you face a lot of challenges on the way, mm-hmm. and if you are not passionate about that which you want to do, then but if you want to see yourself to the other side of a successful business, then you must be passionate about that which you are involved in, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
And then can you tell us about your journey as an entrepreneur? Where did it all start? When did you start to decide, no, I want to start this business?
Okay. I have two different businesses.
Okay.
Two different business from two lines of trade. So but I started doing business while I was still a student, a tertiary student. Mm-hmm. So what happened at the time, I was working for this other guys, brand ambassador, so I was advertising their suits and selling their business, bringing numbers to the business, mm-hmm. right? But you know what, I think this is not where I want to find myself for a very long time. So I have to do something. So me having to start something similar to what my back then employer was doing, it's not a decision it's not a decision that was instantly taken at the time or made at the time, right? Because there was a time I gave them a client that was that had proceeds of over 25,000 pula. And if I can tell you how much that guy gave me at the time, that's what
as a commission.
As a commission. And also because with the kind of business that he was in at the time, awesomely. Yeah. So imagine from more than 25,000, then I was only given 450 So I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done
Yeah, you
here
had
because
to.
at the time also the reason why I started having my own clothing line was because also I had built clientele because Sagara was the one who was bringing clients. So I was always talking to people, bringing clients, and so people knew that I was in this business, right? Even though I was not the main man behind the business. So then when I decided to leave, I was like, can I make this 25k or this money that's above 25k? If it was me, if it was my business, then it could be going directly into my account, and I could not be crying that I was not rewarded for the work that I put in. Right?
Do you think that was the last straw that made you to start your own business, or you fell in love with what you were doing by then, selling suits?
Okay, I think I fell in love selling suits at first, right? But I was okay working at that time because kana bila haratsa lebaka ha ilongwa ga ra go rwa ke kore ke feel gore that's how good I was when it comes to advertising and marketing and all those things, right? Because with less than 6 months with less than 6 months already I'm bringing in that much sales to the company, right? So at the time I was okay. I haven't made the decision I want to start my own or I want to leave or whatever. But when it came to a point where now I was not rewarded, not according to my own expectations, because I don't think we are ever going to be satisfied with what we get. But at least if I wanted it to be fair, right? So it wasn't fair. And then at the time I said, you know what, no, I'm done. So at the time, so here's what happened. So he had a brother who was working for him also as a designer. So the brother was a designer. So the brother then called me and said, man, and again, they're foreigners.
Okay.
And the brother came to me and said, man, why don't you start your own? Because you have an advantage of being a Motswana and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So now you are crying that my brother didn't pay you for the sales that you made. So imagine if this was your own. And then I said, but I don't have capital. I don't have money to start my own business. I don't have machines. I don't have what. And then he's like, no, now I have machines. I have machines. If you want someone who can tailor for you, then you can bring the work to me. I will do it for you. Then we'll talk about payments and all the likes. Right? That's how I started my own.
Which was his loss.
Yeah. So that's how I started my own clothing line. Right? So and then we started, and then as time went by, we grew. However, we grew. But like I said, I'm not where I would have wanted to be at this time, because I feel like it's been a long time since I've been in that business, and I feel like I should have grown more than where I am right now.
I wanted to interject before you go further.
Yes.
Usually when it comes to brand names, if like it's Sapang, I would say it's Sapang Suits, Sophie's Suits. What motivated that brand name?
Alvaro. What a question. Alvaro is a beautiful name. It's a beautiful name. So when I started, I was like, what can I call my business? And then I had a few names. I just wanted something simple. And then I had a few names. I wanted something Setswanish also. It's like, okay. Ke like go kopanya maina di say name and then I was like, you know what, but I think fashion it is so much in line with what do you call these countries, your
Europeans, Americans,
go to
Asia, go China.
No, not Asia. Italy. So your Italy, there's other country that I'm forgetting, right? But so this name Alvaro, it's a combination of the other country that I'm forgetting, the Italian Nyana thing, more thing. So I was like, you know what? Let me just try come up with a name that speaks fashion, right? Or with the language that speaks fashion. right? Because I wanted to try Setswana, I didn't work out. And I was like, okay, fine, let me try the language that speaks fashion. And I was like, okay, fine.
Only international.
Yeah, you get. So I was like, okay, fine. Italian, you have your Italian suits, your Italian cards, and whatnot. I was like, okay, cool. And then I got on the internet and just started searching for names and Italian names and why am I forgetting this name? But yes. So and then I found Alvaro. So when I searched Alvaro, it meant a warrior. And I was like, okay, but a warrior and suit fashion, it doesn't align. I was like, you know what?
When you say that, when I started I'm an opera singer.
Yeah.
I looked for a very different name because everybody was just talking the what tenor, this tenor.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just look for something. Then I went online, because I looked for an Italian name.
Yeah.
For my stage name, right?
Yeah.
And then I said, okay, how about something that's in line with church?
Yes.
Then it popped out so many names. Then I picked El Saggio Solista, meaning a wise soloist.
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's good.
So I just wanted to interject there when you talked about looking for places where, that kind of business
is much
especially that fashion.
Yes. So and then I registered. I registered. So Juanana, if I can tell you how many times I've re-registered my business, you'll wonder why I have not given up at this point in time, because within the first year, the company got closed. Yeah. And I didn't file the annual return. So because I got closed before. Then I didn't file the annual returns. And then the following year I registered again. Using a different name this time around. But still Alvaro. So the first one was Alvaro Custom Suits, and then when I came back I was like, okay, fine. So they're not going to make me use the name that I used before unless I pay that huge amount of money to restore it. And I was like, I don't have that kind of money. So and then I registered Alvaro Ditsui. Ditsui is my surname. I was like, okay, fine, let me just go with Alvaro Ditsui. Alvaro Ditsui will be on the papers, but Alvaro Custom Suits will be the brand that people sees, right? Yes. So and then I moved along with that, and then Leonid got closed, and then I was like, okay, cool. So I think it's business.
Okay. I would have given up.
So it's business. The challenges that we face, Leone, I had so many challenges. I think the other one, that one, I think it got closed because at the time I had went to the US. Yeah, there was a time I was selected to represent Botswana in the United States of America. We're doing it's just much of a community development things, programs, the study of the US Institute.
That's where you're the ambassador?
Yes.
Okay,
I think what they say is everyone who is an alumni is also an ambassador. Okay. So you can talk about them wherever you go, you can sell them wherever you go. So then they used to help us with funds when we wanted to do projects that are aligned with their mandate, right? Yes. So that one got closed because I went to the US at the time and I just didn't care about any other thing apart from being at the US at the time. So and then I re-registered when I came back, which is the one that is still running right now. It's called Alvaro Trey. So I registered as Alvaro Custom Suits, got closed. Alvaro Ditsui got closed. Now I'm on Alvaro Trey, which is still doing well, right? So and then now, because I was working as an auditor before, and I was like, you know what? I think there's that thing. I hope I'm not going to fight with if I ever have a chance to be employed again, which I doubt. I hope I'm not going to fight with whoever is going to be my employer at the time, because I have this thing of when you're not paying me well, I'll start something of my own, because I can't beg you to pay me for something that I'm doing very well and for helping you make a lot of money, right? So I was working as an auditor, though I don't have a business, an audit firm, but I was working as an auditor. But also the company was doing accounting, tax issues and secretarial services and whatnot. So I was working for those guys, but I disclaimer, guys, they're not the reason why I started that business.
No.
I started it because I was helping a friend of mine also with issues related to secretarial services, accounting, and tax. And then I was like, you know what, I love this. Why don't I just register a business, right? And then I registered my own consultancy services. So the reason why I'm saying I'm a business consultant, I mean it. I do it every day without fail. So that has been my journey. It has been a very challenging journey. I almost gave up on the way, but remember your passion will take you to places. I'm not going to say that you never thought you would be, but because when you start something, you imagine your growth. And as you keep on growing, growth also will never be enough, as you keep on
Just
growing,
like
you want it to be, how money wise, or feel like for now you want to make more, right? How character wise, you feel like, you know what, I'm at this level, or feel like, man, you get. Yes.
So do you think entrepreneurship is a calling? From your journey, from the Suits one, the guy that you're working for didn't pay you as much as you deserved.
Yes.
And for the business consultant also, something happened also for you to start it.
Yeah.
So somehow I feel like this was your calling. You deserved to be a business owner.
Okay.
Like you had to. And do you think everyone can be an entrepreneur? 2 questions there.
Okay. The last question, I don't think everyone can be an entrepreneur because entrepreneurship, it's okay. Number one, it's something that is very challenging, like very, very challenging. Challenging ya thing has a challenging yani challenging ya right? So also we can say okay, fine, this is what I want to do no matter what, because you're going to face a lot of tribulations along the way, have the hurdle on the way. But how say Kemi says, this is what I want to do, this is why I want to be at this certain point in time, then and you're going to find yourself now you don't know where you are and how you can get yourself out from that situation, because but also I feel like entrepreneurship, you can be an entrepreneur if you want to be an entrepreneur, but now it is something that has to deal with, or to be you have to make a research about that which you want to do at a specific given time, because markets are different. And also how the marketing and Ghana, and then you have to make your research. I think it's one thing that I wrote about in my book. I wrote about market research and having to research about the market that you want to be involved in before you can actually start that business. Because business is all about solving a problem, solving a niche, right? So when I know you are in the business because on work there's
the problem
instantly, and not actually a problem, instantly comes out to one and all that, those things. But it's not like that. Today we put a lot of account that sharp, or your business is sharp, or cool sharp. But the following day, 3 days later, account that more negative. But that's okay, because 5 days later, account that sharp. That's entrepreneurship. But it's in line with you being smart about that which you are doing, and also financially knowing how to play with money, right? Investing, building 1, 2, 3, saving here and there, and growing. That is that which you are currently doing, right? So the second question, where you were saying the first one was a calling, right? Yes. And then you asked, can you remember me?
I was tracing back about how you started your own business.
Yes. So last year around September, I was working as an auditor, right? I got a letter from the HR department that we are not going to renew your contract. I was still an entrepreneur at the time. I was like, okay, cool. What's next? Should I apply for other audit firms? at other audit firms, or should I continue doing my business? It's like, you know what, I want to just leave employment a bit. I want to focus on my business. Because if I can tell you the reasons why, as to why my contract was terminated at that time, it's crazy. Part of me felt they were petty, but then again I was like, but if I were in their shoes, I'd maybe think the same. Because now at the time, I had started my own consultancy services, and guess what? I had branded my car.
Oh, you're coming to work with a car branded.
Yes, every day. So, plus I was working for Indians. I'm not going to say anything about them, but I feel like the honestly stereotype how we know their way of doing business, especially in Botswana. I'm not going to shy away from that because I feel like because we don't want to say anything about anything, right? But implement contract and that means you've agreed to the terms and conditions of the contract, right? But if now you have worked for a certain period of time and you're like, employer, can I have worked for you for this period and I'm kindly asking for a raise, my work can speak for itself, and then nothing good comes out of that conversation. I was like, you know what, Witness, just start your own thing.
You had to.
So, because of time, I wanted to ask 2 questions. If you could answer them briefly. The previous years, before this government came into power, we had so many initiatives. We had YDF, we had Posida, we had Chema.
Yes.
So we had all these things again. What according to you, what should the government actually do to make sure that they support entrepreneurs in Botswana? I know the youth have been complaining about the SIDA money, that you should have a certain amount. If you want to 1 million, at least half of it should be in your account. Like, those are some of the terms. But what do you think the government should do specifically to support young entrepreneurs?
Okay. I don't think at this I don't think entrepreneurs should be directly supported with money, because I don't think we are at a level where we know how to use money. I don't think we are. Actually, I'm sorry to say this, but I'm gonna put it this way. I don't think we are financially literate enough.
I agree with you. We talked about it the last episode.
To be given I don't think so. Maybe only a few can do something good out of the funds, right? But this thing of the government always saying it's not working, guys. And I believe it's something that has been going on for quite a long time now, and we're still stuck in the same place. There is no growth. Anything that we can say, no, we have moved from this to that. Only a few people who have been funded are doing good in their businesses, right? Here's the reason why I'm saying that. I think the government should focus more on mentorship. Mentorship also, your leadership. There's a difference between management and leadership. Right. So when you talk about management, when you talk about business management is your day-to-day running of the business, right? Your day-to-day running of the business. And then when you talk about business leadership, you're talking about forecasting your business 5 years from now, 10 years from now. That is leadership. When now you sit down and you're like, you know what? I want my business to be doing 1, 2, 3 in 5 years to come. I want my business to be making this much in 5 years to come. But when you're a manager, then you deal with day-to-day finances. Okay, fine. Today, that's you being a manager. So I feel like what we are lacking as young people in Botswana is just education about business, education about finances, education about, also not only education, even like an initiative where when we want to be helped with decision making, then we go there to be helped, to be assisted with decision making. Because I feel like most of us fail because we take decisions based on less knowledge, right?
True.
Yes. So ho hella ho re imesa go dira dikgwebo because ra ba re tsa decision re se well informed about what we are doing at that time. And also ena di khansa environment, when you make decisions based on where you are currently at that time, it's a challenge because ke a go tsaya ditshwetso ke go ra ke re ke sale ke sokola mo botshelong. So let me eat this money. You get?
Yes. I think that when you mentioned that point, monitoring and evaluation,
yes,
that you gave this person this amount of money, how much are you expecting them to bring back?
Yes.
If it's a money that should flow between 10 people, what are you doing after? Not just giving that person that money, only after 3 years they come back and say, what have you done with the money? Like you are saying, we are only given funding.
Yes.
And then there's no mentorship, there's no leadership training. I know Leah does.
Chama has done it also.
Has done it.
Yeah.
But is it enough?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think this things how can the level the head you are about to value what? Because there's the monotonous stakeholders, if I may put it that way.
Yeah.
This the very same people ba tanka the ideas, the funds and whatnot. They're the very same people that we have to restructure the whole thing, right? Leah is doing a very good job when it comes to trainings and all those things. And I've had an opportunity to work with Leah at my business compliance training. We had a business compliance training, I think, was it last month? Yes, where I'm training entrepreneurs. I think personally, I've taken an initiative to train young people about business, right? So business compliance, what is needed as far as compliance issues are related in your business. So I've called, BRS was there, Leah was there, SIPA didn't come, they know why. Other stakeholders were there, right? It was a beautiful training. So Leah is doing well. So when we talk about the Zabo Chama Zabo YDF, I don't have any problem with the government finding young people kind of the business I don't have any problem with that because then as an individual I would need funding, but I would want it to be at a point where now I'm knowledgeable enough about that which I want to do or that which I am doing, right? Also, I'm going to be responsible enough for the funds that I've been given or for the funds that have been administrated to my business, right? So, wrapping up with that, also, Kanzabu, is it YDF? I have applied for YDF before. I was rejected. You know the reason why I was rejected? Because I'm not the actual tailor. And I was like, what? You can't reject me to fund my business because you're saying I'm not an actual tailor. While I have track record of the business, how the business has been doing. I had financial statements. I put them in front of them. I said, you look at this. You can't say you are not funding me because I'm not the one sitting behind the machine. I'm the one running the business. What are you saying about the government always saying employment creation? I gotta create employment. Can hire 3-4 more people to tailor.
Yes.
Hey, so or they know very well what they are doing when they are selecting the people that they are funding. That's the other problem.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We've come to the end of our beautiful episode. Please watch this episode.
Yeah. It's a very interesting conversation. I think one of the days maybe we might call you again.
No problem.
Yes. Thank you very much for coming.
Anytime.
Please buy suits from Alvaro.
From Alvaro. And
yes.
please
Alvaro.
watch,
Okay.
like, subscribe on YouTube. And some of the views and opinions expressed in this episode today, they don't necessarily have come alive, but they were personal. It's young people trying to express themselves to say, hey, look at us. This is how we want things to be done. Stop making decisions for us. Call young entrepreneurs, put them down to say, this is an initiative by the government. How do you want it to be? Not this is it. Just chip into it. Thank you very much. Until we meet again. Ciao.
Bye.